Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Danny Latimer, and I'm part of the Anaya team. First and foremost, we'd like to say thank you because we know there are many things that you can be doing today, and you've chosen to spend the afternoon with us. Quickly talking about how this came to be about, some colleagues and I were talking, and we were talking about the situation and everything that's going on, about how we were having problems dealing with staying at home, about how we were having problems with what's going on with the coronavirus, and then how we were having to share spaces with people while we're working or studying. And so we thought, surely if we're having these problems, then our children and school-age children are having these problems as well. So we thought about some different coping mechanisms that we like to use. And we thought this would be great if we could share these with school-age children and then later share it in the classroom as well. So we were talking about some different ways to do this, and we thought perhaps we could have a webinar. And so as we were talking about some different people that we could have give this webinar, we were talking about different experts in the field. And there were a lot of names that kept coming up. But one of the names that kept popping up again and again was Adela Morfeo, because she's one of the leading experts in mindfulness techniques. She practices yoga, she practices meditation, and she's also a bilingual teacher. She's taught all over England, she's taught all over Spain. And she's not only a teacher, but she's also a teacher training. And different courses on mindfulness techniques. So we thought we'd give her a call, and we called her up and we talked about the idea with her, and she had some amazing ideas that she shared with us, and she agreed to help us out. So she's going to tell us a little bit about how we can integrate her expertise and her knowledge and use this for ourselves and then in our classrooms as well. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce you all to Adela Morfeo. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Daniel. Well, hello everyone out there. Thank you so much for joining us today here. First of all, I would like to give you a very warm welcome. Thank you for sharing your afternoon or your evening with us. I would like to mention that this webinar is going to be recorded, and I would like to make sure that you have that you mute your microphones. Also, I think it was said at the beginning of the presentation, but make sure you have a piece of paper and a marker and also a glass of water. We're going to be using that all along the presentation. Well, at the end of the presentation, I'm going to provide my email address, so you will be able to ask me any questions or ask me any doubts or give me any feedback. So, that's really it, and we can start. I would like to say that today, most of all, I would like to share my experience. I don't know what your expectations are, but what I would really like today is to share my experience, why I started doing these techniques in the classes, and what is my experience all in all. And the truth is that, first of all, I didn't do this for the children. I did this for myself, first of all. About 10 years ago, I went through a very hard personal situation, and it was very hard for me to go to work, to cope with teaching, and to cope with managing my classroom. I found it very hard. So I started therapy, and among other things, I learned to use these mindfulness techniques. So the truth is that in order to be able to teach, I had to get to the school, sit myself down, and do a little bit of breathing before I could cope with the stress of the job. So that's my experience, first of all. So I did it for myself, first of all. I want to point that out. And I experienced it myself, and then I started doing it in class because I thought it was compulsory, and I saw that it really did the trick. So that's something that I really want to point out. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the definitions of neuroscience or mindfulness and meditation, but I don't want this to be very, very theoretical. I really want it to be practical, and I really want to invite you to feel it and experience. I'm going to give you a lot of different practices, a lot of different ideas and samples, things that you can really use in class, things that I've been using for the past 10 years. So, and I've used them with little children, and I've used them with older children, and I've used them with adults. So these are things that you're gonna be able to just put in practice as soon as we finish with a webinar. However, what I would really would love for you to do is to do them today, to really practice them as we go along and to see how you feel. This is why at the beginning of the presentation, I wanted you to take into consideration how your body was feeling. And I said your body and not you, because I really wanted you to go down to your body, to forget about your head, and to really go down to your heart and see this with an open heart and with an open mind. Well, we have a very, very hard job. Nowadays, it's very, very demanding. I mean, it's always very demanding, but nowadays we are going through a very difficult situation. We were sent home. We are teaching from home. Some of us didn't to use certain platforms or applications, and we are having a really stressful time. And this is very strange because we are at home. We are in our very comfortable place, and even so, we are having a difficult time because this is new for us, and we are learning as we go along. So I want you to look at this, as I said, with an open heart. You have to have your feet on the ground, as you can see on the slide there, because we have to, of course, observe the law. We cannot do whatever we want. We have to answer the demands of the ministry, answer the demands of the administration, answer the demands of parents, answer the demands of children. But of course, we are free to do certain things that are very, very useful in the classes. And this is what I would like to show you today. So feet on the ground, but reach for the stars. We can reach for the stars. Just let yourself go. I would love that you don't have any aims or expectations today, but of course, I can't control that. But again, my invitation today, I would like you to just feel and experience the practices that I'm going to share with you today. I found this quote and I thought, well, this is very interesting. If you tell me, I will listen. If you show me, I will see. If you let me experience, I will learn. So this is what I would like you to do today. Experience it, feel it, sense it. Give it a chance, give it a go. Just let yourself go. And it's also a little gift for you because you're going to feel better. And not only in terms of relaxation, because this is something that I want to point out. These techniques are not only about relaxation. These techniques are a lot more profound because they let us open our focus, they let us calm, they let us understand, and they let us take responsibility. So anyway, neuroeducation. Neuroeducation deals, I'm sure you know very well, we're now very, very aware of the neuroeducation techniques. Neuroeducation is the part of neuroscience that deals with how the brain processes information, how the brain learns, how the brain stores information and knowledge in order to actually give a response to the world. So if we have to take all of these, if we have to take all of this knowledge about a neuroeducation into our classes, then we should take into consideration that mindfulness and meditation techniques are up and coming. They are being used a lot, and we can use them consistently in the classes in order to get a lot of advantages and a lot of benefits. The difference between mindfulness and meditation, well, this is a very, very, very muddy area. So I don't want to get very theoretical here, but to me, mindfulness is more of a philosophy. Mindfulness is something that you can do all through the day. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present, and it can be out throughout the day because you can be mindful while you are cooking, and you can do mindfulness while you are teaching, and you can be fully aware of your thoughts and your feelings and your body sensations while you are walking or while you are just doing anything. But something that I want to point out here, and that is very, very important, is that you should do this with a gentle, kind attitude. You should be kind to yourself. You should not criticize yourself. It really doesn't matter if when you start using these techniques, your mind goes somewhere else, because your mind is always going to go somewhere else. Your mind is always minding. So it's very difficult to have a blank mind, or to just not be thinking about anything. It's almost impossible. And this is not what it's all about. This is about calming down. This is about being conscious of our surroundings, being conscious about what is going on, being aware of what is going on around us. So being here and now. A little water. Being here and now. Very important. Then meditation. Well, the definition of meditation seems to be a lot more profound, a lot more harder. It's like a serious study. Meditation deals very much with getting to know yourself. And meditation sometimes is used for serious study. So it's like a very heavy word. So I don't really want to get into labeling if this is meditation or this is mindfulness. I want to show you what I do in class. I want to show you what I do in class every day. I want to show you what I've been doing for the past 10 years. And I can tell you that this has a lot of benefits. Something that I want to point out is that this is why I had in the slide practice, practice, practice. Something very, very important here is that the brain learns by repetition. We all learn by repetition. First of all, it's like a conscious repetition. Then it becomes part of your body. You do it like a second nature. You do it like automatically. And then is what that is when you are when it becomes something natural. So we are going to need a lot of practice to use these techniques, because it's not going to happen all of a sudden. We need to practice. We need to train our children to actually do this. We need to invest time, but I can assure you that it's worth it. It's all worth it, and it's not going to be worth it just for the children. It's going to be worth it for yourselves. So, well, anyway, meditation seems to be a word or an activity that takes that involves more of a stillness of the body, stillness of the mind. But well, I don't think we have to be very structured here. I think we have to see how we go along. We have to try. We have to give it a go and see what we like the best, and see what goes better with our personality, or what it goes better with our style of teaching. And the best thing about this is that we can be somehow the masters of our minds and not the slave. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you can actually go and take yourself wherever you want to take yourself. You can be the leader of whatever is going on in your life, and not be just dragged by the automatisms that we all have. So, and something that I want to point out here as well, don't get discouraged. If you are ready to do this, if you are ready to practice and give it a go, don't get discouraged. You need to have some time in order to get some results. So if you want to really get a result, you're going to have to repeat and repeat and practice to get a real outcome. Oh, I've been looking for research, because really and truly, what I do this in my lessons, and I know my teaching is a lot easier. I know that they learn easier. I haven't measured this, I haven't, but I do this every single day. I do these techniques consistently every day, and I do them as a routine. So anyway, I found this very interesting study. This is the largest study that has been done up until now, and it was done in the city of New York. by the University of Virginia by somebody called Patricia Jennings. And what they did is that they actually, well, they took 240 teachers out of from 36 different schools, and they recorded how these teachers felt in terms of physical and psychological well-being, in terms of confidence in their teaching, in terms of stress, and they recorded that data at the beginning and at the end of a 4-month course in mindfulness. This course, it was just a 30 hours course in mindfulness techniques. And what happened is absolutely amazing. Well, number one, what I really want to highlight here is that this piece of research, it was aimed primarily at increasing the teacher's wellness. So this was not the typical course that teachers take on, I don't know what latest methodology to teach maths or any other method to teach, I don't know, science or English or whatever it is. It was not academic whatsoever. It was just aimed at increasing teachers' wellness. And what happens is that at the end of the course, not only the teachers felt a lot better, not only they felt a lot happier, not only they felt a lot wealthier, not only they felt a lot more comfortable or healthy, but also their children felt happier. Their children felt more compassionate. Their children improved their academic results. And so it was very, very interesting to know that there is data that proves that these techniques work. I also want to mention here that the official School of Psychologists in Madrid have an official mindfulness department, and they've had that department for the last 8 years. So they've had it now for 8 years. So this is a serious techniques. These techniques are serious. They are used by professionals like psychologists. But not only that, a month ago, I was amazed because I was reading the newspaper, I was reading El País, and I saw a picture of doctors and nurses having a meditation session before actually going into work. You can see pictures of that in El País. So I was amazed to know that these techniques are now being very, taken serious, and people are going to start using them in very different areas. So let us just continue here. I love this definition. This is by Daniel Siegel. He's the co-director of the University of California in Los Angeles. And he says, we can sharpen our focus on the present, enabling us to feel our feet as we travel the path of our lives. We engage with not only with ourselves, but with others, making a more authentic connection and a more reflection and consideration. What I really like about this quote is that it's very visual, it's simple. These techniques are free. They are not complicated, just the very opposite. They are very simple and they are very easy to follow. But something that I want to say here as well is that not because these techniques are very simple, they are not functional. They are effective, they work. And today, my recommendation is that you try and see, give it a go, and see what happens. Benefits are endless, not only for the teacher and for the children, of course. They are endless, and I could have written a very long list here, but I decided just to write a few things. Well, they foster, well, if you use this, compassion is going to be fostered. Of course, it is a tool for managing stress. Of course, your children are going to improve the attention in class. Of course, you are going to be more aware of what is going on in class. So you're going to be able to act and not react. Sometimes, we have very difficult situations and we just react in a very, well, in a very angry way. Sometimes we feel angry. And so these mindfulness techniques are going to help you to sort of cope with all those situations. Also, as I said, these techniques improve social skills, and the best about them is that with less effort, if you practice them, if you see, I mean, when you practice them, your children are going to be capable of concentrating. They're going to be your teaching learning process is going to be a lot shorter, a lot easier, since you're going to have the students paying attention. You are not going to have to be yelling for attention, begging for attention. Just do this, invest just a few minutes for this, and you will get the attention of your students easily. So anyway, now I would like you to watch this video. It's only about a couple of minutes, and I would like to just watch and see what it means to you. See what it comes to your mind when you see this. See how you feel when you watch this video. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Wow. I loved this video when I saw it because to me, it talks about reactivity, how we react to whatever is happening around us. It really makes a difference when we are actually aware of what is going on. We are actually conscious of ourselves and the rest of the world, or in a classroom situation, when we are aware of our children, when we can see our children and look at them in the eye, there's a big difference on how we react. The flies became flowers. I mean, if we use this, if we use meditation techniques, if we meditate, it doesn't mean that our problems are going to go away. We're going to have problems, we're going to have trouble, we're going to be living the same lives. But somehow we're going to be the masters, we're going to be in control of our lives because we are going to be aware and there when we decide how we are going to cope with those problems and with whatever it is that we are living in the classrooms. Okay, so is this all about having the children relaxed? No, not whatsoever. I mean, we all want to feel relaxed and good, and we all want to feel tranquility. And of course, I want to feel good. I want to feel calm, and I want to feel serenity. I don't want to suffer. But using this in the class, it doesn't mean that we are going to have just the children there relaxing. No, this is about having the children calm but focus. That's the difference. So first of all, it's like it takes 4 stages. When you start using this, you're gonna see that it takes 4 stages for the children to grow, to personally grow. It's gonna take stages for yourselves to personally grow because first of all, you need to be calm in order to actually focus and see whatever you need to see. And then once you see, you're going to understand whatever it is going on in life. The same with the children. Once you're calm, you're going to pay attention, you're going to see, then you're going to fully understand whatever is going on. And then you're going to take responsibility and you're going to make a response for whatever it is that you're going through, not only in a class situation, as I said, but in classrooms is very, very efficient because the children are there. The children take responsibility for what they have to do, for what they have to learn. It just makes the trick, but we need to practice. So here's the fun part. Now we're gonna practice. So get ready for this. You're gonna need a piece of paper. You're gonna need your marker. We should drink some water. But first of all, before we start doing all these practices, I want to point out, I really, really want that you guys, wherever you are, you actually do this. Don't make a list of activities that you can take into the classroom. Because if you want a list of activities, I will give you a list of activities at the end of the session. You can write to me in my email. And of course, Daniel and Julia, we can all answer that. We can give you a list of this. But I would love you to feel this, to sense this. So let's start. Wherever you are, just remain seated. I would like you to close your eyes. You're going to listen to the sound of a Tibetan singing bowl. This is a Tibetan singing bowl. You're going to listen to the sound of the bowl. What I would like you to do is to just concentrate on the sound and just concentrate and stay just concentrating there until the sound finishes, until the sound vanishes. Whenever the sound vanishes, raise your hand. I will play the ball 3 times, okay? So please close your eyes and remember, just pay attention to the sound. When the sound finishes, raise your hand. Well, this simple activity takes just a few seconds, and I use the bowl all the time in class, not only because it's a way of, okay, we're going to start, not only for them to know that we're going to start the lesson, but also because we actually synchronize, because we're all going to get into the same vibration. When we hear the ball, we tune in somehow. So I use it all the time. So that's a little activity that you can use anytime, even in the middle of a lesson, with any children, with adolescents, with adults. It's always very nice to hear the Tibetan ball. Position. Well, position is very, very important. So I'm going to explain a little bit about how we should be sitting. Well, first of all, we should be sitting on our tailbone. So make sure you're not sitting on your bum. Make sure you're not sitting on your soft part of your bum, but make sure you feel the bones, the tailbones on the chair, and make sure your spine and your skull are aligned, just like this. And also, you can imagine, you can just picture that there's a little string that pulls your head from the top. So your tailbone, your spine, and your skull are aligned. Your hands are on your lap. Your feet are on the ground. Your shoulders are relaxed. And then you can just do any activity. I use this image of a zip. I teach the children to zip themselves up just like this, so that they remember they have to have a right posture for this. Why is this so very important? Well, it is so very important because we want to have our lungs expanded and not constricted. We want to use our breathing to the full, because that makes a difference in the functioning of our body, in the functioning of our brain. So we want to get the most of the oxygen we can get. So this is the right position. You can see the right position here. So make sure you teach your children how to do this at the beginning, perhaps of the year, or so that they can get used to just be doing this by themselves. Then I used 3 groups of activities. The exercises that I'm going to share with you focus either on breathing or sensing or visualizing. These are the 3 main targets that we can be used when we are doing these activities. Sometimes we can focus on breathing and sensing, or the 3 at the same time. But the 3 main tools will be our breathing, most of all, sensing sensations in our body, and also visualization. That is very, very powerful for the children and for ourselves. Another thing that I like to point out that is very important, I find this paramount. Teach your children to yawn and stretch for 10 seconds every hour. Right now, at home, please stretch. It's very important that you stretch. It's very important that you're not stiff. We cannot be sitting there for hours. We cannot have our little children, our young children, being there for hours, hoping that they are going to be listening to us. Teach them to stretch, to move around, to drink water. Let's drink water. Why should we drink water? Because we need to grease the wheel. The wheel is not only this wheel, it's also our body. And also, very important, water oxygenates. So we get more oxygen, our body functions perfectly, our learning is going to get a lot easier. So first practice. This is the first real practice. So please make sure you have the right position. Remember, tailbone, straight back. Sit on your tailbone, straight back. Put your hands on your lap, straight feet. Imagine that you're breathing from your feet. Imagine that the air that you're taking in is coming in from your feet. And very important, you're going to visualize your torso. I'm going to stand up here. Hope you can see me well. You have to imagine that you breathe from your feet, and then you feel your tummy first, then your diaphragm, and finally your chest. So you're going to take a deep breath when you breathe in, and you're going to exhale using the same path, following the same path. So when you exhale, you're going to exhale first from your tummy, then your diaphragm, and then your chest. So remember, tummy, diaphragm, chest. And breathe from your feet. Breathe from your feet. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to take care of the time. So please close your eyes. I'm going to take care of the time. We're just going to practice this for 1 minute. Remember to be gentle, kind, and loving to yourself. If your mind goes somewhere else, don't you worry. Just don't get engaged in that. It doesn't matter. Go back to breathing from your feet. Tummy, diaphragm, chest. So, ready? Steady. Close your eyes. Go. Remember, tummy, diaphragm, chest. Tummy, diaphragm, chest. So that's about 1 minute. Open your eyes, please. I hope you enjoyed the activity. Sometimes you can get a little bit dizzy when you take these deep breaths. So this is very interesting. It's very interesting to teach the children to do this. I have done this with very, very young children, with 5-year-olds, and I have done this with 15-year-olds, and they love it. They just love it. It takes a while to teach the children to actually take the air to their tummy, which is the breathing that we had when we were babies. So it takes a little while to actually teach them that, but you can practice just by telling them, okay, inflate your tummy. You should be able to see how your tummy moves. You should be able to see the movement in your abdomen. So that's the first activity. Let's go on to the next one. Scientists recording data. Okay, so now you're gonna need your paper and pen. This is my proposal. Same again, make sure you have the right position, aligned your skull, your spine. Take a piece of paper and a marker. Have a piece of paper and a marker ready. It's actually easier if you use a marker, because we want to make just a little mark whenever your mind goes somewhere else that is not your breathing. You're just going to write a little mark. You don't even need to open your eyes. Remember, do not open your eyes. Just if you see that your mind goes somewhere else that is not your breathing, just do a little mark there. Just that. Just try that. So are you ready? Let's do that. For 1 minute, I will be watching the time, and you just can concentrate on your breathing. Remember, you have a piece of paper and a marker. Anytime your mind goes somewhere else, don't you worry, be gentle. Don't you tell yourself that this is right or good or bad. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whatsoever. This is not about what is right or wrong. This is all about learning, practicing, and be gentle with yourself and observing. So let's do that. Position away from the desk. Relax your feet in front of you. Hands on your lap. Straight back. Close your eyes. Focus on your breathing. Focus on your breathing. Pay attention to your breathing. Just your breathing. Breathe in and out. If your mind goes somewhere else, make a little mark. Don't open your eyes. Focus on your breathing. Focus on your breathing. Just your breathing and yourself. Nothing else but your breathing. Just inspire, expire. Just breathing. Focus on your breathing. Okay, that was more or less 1 minute. Don't you find amazing and really intriguing how when we do these practices, the time seems to be a lot longer than when we live our normal lives? I find this really, really interesting. So anyway, I did write something here. It's very interesting to practice this, to do this activity for a period of time, say a week or something like that, or a month, and to keep track of the crosses. So use the same paper and keep track of your crosses and see if different things are going to happen to you. You're not going to be writing the same crosses. You're not going to be capable of taking, holding your mind right there only to your breathing, because different days have different things. So just watch yourself, get to know yourself, use that activity. This is a very simple activity as well that focuses on breathing again. And now I would like you to do the same. Have your right position there. Make sure you adjust your position. Make sure you're sitting on your table. Make sure your back is straight. And what I would like you to do is that when you breathe in and out, when you breathe in, you sense the upper part of the nose, the upper part of the nostrils. And when you breathe out, you sense, you feel, you focus your attention on the lower part of the nostrils. So that is the activity, just that, for 1 minute. Just that. Focus your attention on inhaling upper part of your nostrils, exhaling lower part of your nostrils. Inhaling, feel the air in the upper part of your nostrils. You can visualize your nose, see your nose. So inhale, upper part of your nostrils. Exhale, lower part of your nostrils. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. How was that one? I hope you liked it. It's been almost a minute. This is a very powerful activity. The children love it, and for them it's very easy to get into these images. They find it easy once you have show them how to actually keep the right posture. Well, in this activity, this is the Soham activity. It's a mantra. A mantra is a sentence in Sanskrit that is not only powerful because of the content or what it means, it's also very powerful because the way it sounds, it's actually something that synchronizes, that re-energizes you. So we are going to just, again, watch your posture. So remember, get away from your desk a little bit, relax your feet in front of you, put your hands on your lap, align your skull, your spine, and your tailbone. Close your eyes. When you're breathing, you're gonna say inside yourself, you don't need to say it aloud. Well, or you can if you're at home. You're perfectly fine if you wanna do that. So this is about saying so when you inhale and saying hum when you exhale. So hum, so hum. We have a little video here, so you can listen to the sound and just concentrate on your breathing. Remember, so inhaling, exhaling. So breathe in, breathe out. So breathe in, breathe out. Remember to be caring to yourself. I forgot to turn my microphone off here. I'm sorry. Can we stop the video now, please? Well, I hope you liked this activity. I really like it. I would like to share here with you that I have, last year, I had an autistic child. And this was the only activity that would calm him down. He loved listening to the Soham and sitting there, and he could actually calm himself down to just by listening to this. At the end of the school year, he would do it himself. He would just sit himself. He could feel and sense when he was getting stressed out and very, very irritated for whatever the reason, and he would just go to a big cushion that I have in my classrooms, and he would just lay down in the cushion and do Soham by himself. It was pretty amazing. So try this. It's also very interesting to say here that when you inhale, if you are concentrating in your breathing, it's like it sounds like so, ham, and then it sounds like when you inhale so, and when you exhale, it sounds like ham somehow. Anyway, I think we're going not, I'm going to explain this activity to you, but we are not going to do it. This is just a 1 minute silence. This activity is just about quieting ourselves, just having total silence, and just tell your children to concentrate on the sounds they hear. When I do this activity, it's pretty amazing because what they hear things that we cannot normally hear, like the clock, like the tick-tock of the clock. It's just amazing. When I do this activity, I also got, I then ask them, so what did you hear? And a little child who was 7 at the time told me that he could hear silence. And I said to him, well, but silence is silent, and you cannot hear silence. And he would tell me, well, yes, I can hear silence. Silence has got a sound. And I just found it so lovely that he could say that. Anyway, so try this one and just keep complete silence for just a minute or 30 seconds and see what they hear. Let's practice the next one. Guessing sounds. Okay, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes again, adjust your posture, make sure you're sitting in the right position, close your eyes, and I'm going to ask you to guess what you hear. You're not going to see what I'm going to be playing, and just guess. Guess. Are you ready? Close your eyes. I'm going to play 4 different sounds. Are you ready? Here comes the first one. Close your eyes. Sound number 1. Sound number 2. Sound number 3. And finally, sound number 4. So, what do you hear? You know what it was? You know where the sounds were? You know where number 1, it was this maraca. Number 2, yes, Ignacio, it was a Tibetan bell. Number 3, this instrument, I forgot the name of the instrument. This is from Ireland. I bought it in Ireland, I forgot. And number 4, these are Cuban sticks, claves. So, I have done this activity. This activity is very good for they all love it, but I've done it with older children and they love it. Once they get the hang of it, you can actually call a leader and the leader can make just any noise. I mean, I have used this because this is what I have at home and I wanted to have a nice sound, but you can just do any sounds like, you know, a glass of water, just, you know, I don't know, clapping hands, whatever it is. So here we go. Breathe the music to your heart. This activity is about just, again, breathing the music in and locking the music in your heart. And then back to breathing again. Whenever you breathe again, imagine, picture that you're breathing the music, you're taking it to your heart, and that you're locking it there for yourself. And then go back for more. Go back for more music and enclose it there, lock it there in your heart. We're gonna do this for just 30 seconds, because we're running out of time. So can we play the video, please? Picture that you're inhaling the music. Imagine that you're inhaling the music and you keep it in your heart. And then you go back for more. Okay. So that's another example of an activity that you can do. So let's go back for more. I stopped the video myself. I don't know if I'm gonna be able, can I have that presentation back? Thank you. Okay, hand tracing. This is an activity that uses sensations. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, get your index finger out if you're right-handed, or your left index finger if you're left-handed, and just concentrate on the very point of contact where the index finger touches your hand. So just focus on that and trace your fingers and feel the point of contact. Pay really good attention of the point of contact. Just concentrate on the point of contact where your skin touches your skin. And just trace your hands. Point of contact. If your mind goes somewhere else, go back to your point of contact. Point of contact. You can do the other side of your hand. Point of contact. Don't lose it. Pay really good attention. Be fully aware of that inch of skin where there is contact. I hope you like this one. I love this one. It's very easy to do. It's very quick, and it really helps when children are very irritated or very disruptive to just get them back in the class. Hand rubbing energy. Well, this is about rubbing your hands, feeling the energy, feeling the temperature, putting your hands on your face, and just feeling that. Again, very easy, very quick. It's like a little bit of self-caring. It's very good for the children. It's something that you can teach them to do for themselves. Command your heart. I'm running out of time. Oh my God. Okay. Command your heartbeat. This is about making this mudra, having the right position again. When children are very, very disruptive or very active, when they are very noisy, when they come back from playground, when they have conflicts, you can tell them that they can actually command their heartbeats. So this is about telling your heart when you feel agitated and your heartbeat is very high, but very fast, you can actually tell your heart the rhythm you want your heart to beat, the rhythm you want your heart to beat. So if you use this in class, what happens is that the heartbeats actually get synchronized. After 2 minutes, we all get the same rhythm. It's just amazing. So then we are in tune, and then we can start teaching whatever it is. It doesn't matter if it's chemistry, physics, maths, English, then they will be all ready to just learn because they will be focused. Anyway, I think I have to just skip a few practices, but I can tell you about these practices in some other session. But I would like to say something very important. I would like to recommend this poster. Well, this is a bow, the front part of a boat. In Spanish, is called the proa. This is a poster that I have in class. This is just a reminder. PROA is an acronym that means pause, breathe, rest, observe, and act. This is something that you can have in your classes all around so that they work as an anchor. And anytime we're all excited or we are all irritated, or if they are angry or whatever it is, you can tell them, all right, PROA, we're gonna pause, we're gonna breathe, we're gonna rest, we're gonna observe. And once we are calm, we are going to act and not react. Then, a few recommendations. I would actually recommend, I would like to recommend this film, The Shift by Wayne Dyer. You can see the whole film in the YouTube. It is very good quality. You can see it very well. Wayne Dyer was a psychologist and a writer. The film is very interesting. So that's my recommendation. Then a few applications here, a few applications. You have loads of mindfulness applications. If you go to Play Store, you can see them there. I particularly like Mind Bell because it's just a bell that goes on randomly, and that reminds you that perhaps you can sit for just 30 seconds and breathe and calm down and then continue with whatever you're doing. So Mind Bell is a very simple one that I love. And then one moment meditation is a 1 minute meditation. That's very interesting as well, because we always say, okay, we don't have time. There's no time. I don't have time for this. Well, don't you have 1 minute of your life? Don't you have 1 minute of your day? Just 1 minute. You can start by just doing 1 minute, and then you can see. Then inside Timer and Stop, Breathe and Think, they offer you many different practices. So you can see on this and download the ones you like the most. So all in all, I would like to say that in my experience, in my personal experience, these are great activities that really work so well, not only for yourself to make you feel good, to make you feel calm, to make you feel there while you're teaching, but they also work very well for the children because they foster their compassion, they foster good behavior, they get higher grades, the teaching is less arduous, it becomes a little bit easier to do that. And besides, you can become the master of your life. You can become the captain of your dreams. You can become the commander. But there's something you have to do, and this is that you have to grow the mindful muscle in the gym of life. This is something that you have to practice. And I would like you to tell me now how you feel after this session. So thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you for your time. I would like to thank you, Julia, for counting on me for this. Thank you very much, Daniel and Fernando, for all your technical support. And if you would like to get in touch with me, here is my email address. I would love to hear from you. I would love to have feedback. So thank you so much. See you soon. Oh, great. I can see many eights. 8s and 10s. Good. At the beginning of the session, we had a lot of people that had a 6. I saw a lot of 6s at the beginning of the session, and now we're having 10s and 9s. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. Thank you very much for your feedback. I'm reading your reports. 9s, great. Well, thank you, guys. Keep on practicing. Remember, train, practice, practice, practice. Don't you just do it one time. Don't get discouraged. Don't get frustrated. Just try. Give it a go. If you need anything, I would love to be in touch with you. Thank you. Thank you, Alba. Some of you I know. Some people from Zamora, Barcelona, Ibiza, Galicia, Cádiz, Quito en Ecuador, increíble. Córdoba, Sevilla. Thank you. El Salvador, oh my God. Palma, Huelva, Antequera, Alicante, Motril, Granada, Navarra. Wow. Wow. I'm overwhelmed. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you did all the practices and you experienced that and that you feel a lot better. That's what I wanted. That was my aim, a gift for my mates, for my fellow teachers. Thank you, Ana Perez. Great. More people from Sevilla. Ignacio, thank you for feeling very confident with our Anaya books. Petit Bamboo is a really good one as well. It's an application that is very good. Thank you, Eu. Thank you, Almudena. Please give it a go. Invest 5 minutes of your time in every session, and you will gain a lot of time for the rest of your session. You will not be fighting for time. Cristina Bernal, I will give you the apps for meditation later. Zaragoza, Ciudad Real, Valladolid, Valencia. Thank you. Oh dear.
And thank you so much, Isabella. We had a couple of questions that came up during your chat. Alaya asked, could you please recommend a book on how to use mindfulness in the classroom, something specific for education? I've recently read Plantando Semillas and Plum Village Community and would like to read more. Is there anything specific that you can recommend?
Sure. If we can just take your name down, please, Daniel. I can recommend, I mean, I don't have it here right now, but I have a list of books, not only a list of books that you can read for yourselves, but also many books that you can use in the classrooms, books that you can read to the children. And these are very simple books, storytellings that you can even use with all the children and adults. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list of these, and we can email this to you.
Okay, thank you very much. There was another question that Irene had. She wants to know where she can buy the Tibetan bell.
Where she can buy that?
The Tibetan bell that you used.
I bought it in the internet. Well, I would advise you to be very careful with this because they are expensive. Actually, I bought this in a shop in somewhere in Madrid, in the center of Madrid. But I checked because the prices are very different. You can find very expensive bowls and very cheap ones. I would advise you to just get an average one because the very good ones are very expensive because they get really good sounds, really fun, I mean really fine sounds, and you don't really need those very expensive ones because I mean these are used for yoga and stuff. But internet, don't buy the very cheap ones because the sound is not very nice, it's very disturbing, so be careful with that. I bought this in a shop somewhere in Vallecas in Madrid, but I bought it in the internet. I will try to find the address and send it to you as well, but I don't know if it will be open right now. I have no idea. This Tibetan bell, I also bought it there. And I remember the two things were about 80 euro or something like that. I also have some Tibetan symbols. The symbols are great, but I have them in the school. I couldn't use them today because I left them at the school. And the symbols are those symbols I bought for a really cheap price, for 25 euros, but I bought them for my yoga teacher.
And another question that had was, do you have some meditation for teenagers for Deepak Chopra?
I have done it myself. I have done all the meditation, all the series of meditation by Deepak Chopra myself. I have not used it with adolescents. However, I mean, it'd be great if you can use it with adolescents. I find no me sale, sorry, I got all the, I find the meditation by Deepak Chopra very, very profound. Perhaps it's better to use those sessions when you have trained a little bit with the adolescents. But I mean, adolescents, the practices can be very, very simple. And not because they are very simple, they are not efficient. To me, it's just the very opposite. The simpler, the better. They work very well. They don't have to be very complicated. But of course, once you train your students, you can use more complicated ones. But what I really recommend is that you choose the activities that you really like, that you teachers really like. You choose the activities that you love, the ones that you feel more comfortable with, the ones that work for you, and then use those in the classes, use those in the classrooms. That's what I recommend. And practice. So if you decide to use one meditation, one piece of whatever the exercise, do it over a period of time. Do it for 1 week or 2 weeks, because children like repeating things, they like having a routine. So this is a question of installing a routine in class and then change, having sections of your routine and then change whatever the activity you're doing, just like we do in class very much. We have structure and then we change the contents. Ignacio, thank you for that comment on the commanding the heartbeat. It's very useful. This technique, I learned it from one of my masters, whose name is Jesus Duque. By the way, I wanted to give him a special thanks.
Another question I had was, what are the ages of your students? And then a little bit related to that is, how do you convince children of the value of doing these exercises?
Can you repeat the question, the first one, please, Daniel?
The first one is, what age do your students have? How old are they? And then the second one is how you convince them of the value of these exercises.
Well, this year my students are. I'm currently teaching first, second. Well, I'm currently teaching first to 6th grade because I'm teaching arts and crafts from first to 6th grade, and I use it with everyone. But I've done it with first graders in a consistent basis, and it works very well. Not only that, some of my fellow teachers in where I live in San Agustín de Guadalix. I live in Madrid. Some of my fellow teachers do these techniques in infantil. So they do it with 3-year-olds. They do it with 3-year-olds. They teach them the posture. They teach them to inflate their tummies. And of course, once you get the hang of it, then you can create your own activities. You have loads in the internet. If you want to have samples, fantastic. You have many in the internet. But it's like once you get the hang of it, you can create your own activities. You can see what it works for you. But children, anyone can do it. But the fun thing about this is that sometimes we're very reluctant to do these type of things with adolescents or even with adults. And of course, at the beginning, it's difficult because they are going to take peace. At the beginning, it's like, they find it is like, okay, they don't want to do it. They're going to be giggling there. Once you get past the barrier of giggling, then you get all the benefits. Then they feel great. And in a few weeks' time, they will be asking you to do the meditation techniques in the middle of a class. They will be asking you to lead the meditation techniques. That is my experience.
And another question was if it would be okay to share the presentation that you have, the PowerPoint.
Yeah, no problem. It's okay. Mm-hmm.
And
We're gonna. Well, I guess I need to talk about that with Daniel and Julia Ortiz, but I will let you know.
okay, for the moment, it doesn't look like there are any more questions. We'd like to thank you very much for your time, Adela. This was amazing and very informative. And if anybody has any questions, get in contact with either myself or Julia Ortiz. and we would love to help you out and answer your questions. From here at Anaya, we'd like to thank you, and special thanks to Adela and to all of you for joining us, and everybody have a wonderful afternoon.
Well, thank you for counting on me. Thank you, Julia, for counting on me for this. And I will see you very soon. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your evening now. And remember, a little bit of breathing. Go back to your breathing. Every time you remember, go back to your breathing. And you will feel much better.